the data rate of words. Words are a very slow, very low data rate. And we're putting a tremendous amount of mental energy into compressing the concepts and thoughts in our head into words, and then slowly talking. Speech is so very, very slow. And we could actually send the true thoughts. That we can basically have far better communication because we can convey the actual concepts, the actual thoughts, uncompressed to somebody else.
We were having a conversation about, look, maybe the guy's brilliant in some ways, maybe not in other ways, etc. And the Tesla is at least is electric cars. That's a good thing, and renewable energy, etc. So if you go back even further, there was a debate like. So there's we thought there was three options. One is that, oh, the guy's brilliant, right? He does all these companies, they're incredibly successful, richest man in the world, blah, 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 right? The second option we realized is, oh no, he clearly does, like Twitter is a debacle, right? I mean, he overpaid by about $35 billion. That's, even if you thought buying Twitter made sense, at a bare minimum, he overpaid by $22 billion. So that it was a clownish move, and as you're seeing him run it, you're amazed at the bad decisions. So now there's another option, which is that maybe he's really smart in some things and a total idiot in others. But now that you see him struggle with, do I support this Hitler supporting Kanye, or do I ban him? And he goes back and forth on it a little bit. Now there's option number three, which is, no, maybe he's just like Trump, overall idiot, but great at marketing. So like a carnival barker, right? And just at a more sophisticated level than Donald Trump when it comes to business world, right? And so, what you said, first of all, guys, now that I look back at his other predictions, he said, well, SpaceX is gonna take us to Mars. And I remember thinking, look, man, I'm not a tech guy, but I read a little bit about this. For us to be able to go to Mars and to be able to live in Mars, it could happen, it could happen. But given the rate of technology in our lifetimes is very, very unlikely. And yet this guy came out and said, oh, we're definitely gonna do it. And I was like, all right, maybe he knows something I don't know. Now the jury's starting to come in that he don't know anything that we don't know, okay? And has SpaceX gone to Mars yet? Of course not, they're not even close. They're not even close. And then he says weird, nonsensical things like, oh, climate change is really bad on the planet, so we're gonna need to go to Mars. Have you seen Mars's climate? I mean, that's the most absurd thing in the world. I mean, if we had an absolute epic debacle here on planet Earth, thanks to his right-wing buddies driving climate change, we'd get to a situation where our climate is like Mars.
No, he plans to bring Teslas to Mars to get rid of the carbon emissions from their 500-degree temperatures and then very cold temperatures as well.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's absurd. So when he says, "Hey, I'm gonna put these chips in your head because I'm worried that AI is gonna take over, and I'm gonna have a robot run by AI do it," that doesn't make any sense at all. If you're worried about artificial intelligence, you certainly wouldn't have a robot implanting chips in people's heads. It's like, it's Orwellian. He's telling you the exact opposite of things that are true. But at least when it comes to the right wing, they'll believe anything. So as long as they think you're a right winger. So they're like, you know what, Fauci, man, he was trying to put those microchips in our head, in our blood through the vaccines. I'm not gonna let him track us like that. Instead, I'm gonna let Elon Musk put chips in my head. That'll let us track it easier.
Yeah.
Listen. Can we just start at the basis? Elon Musk is not very smart, right? Your dad had money. You got that money. You were able to use it, and you tricked investors. First of all, he's been lying for what 27, 30 years about having a degree in science. It's been found out that he was lying, and investors paid for that fake degree. He does not have a degree in physics or any type of science, for that matter. Let alone the ability to know what should be and shouldn't be attached to my brain. Like, talk about the epitome of what a God complex is. It's Elon Musk. This is a person that the world credits for Tesla. And you're right, Cenk. Tesla is an important company, the technology to getting us closer to a greener world. But it's not his technology, right? He was just money. And he pushed out Martin, and then he eventually pushed out Mark. So the two creators of Tesla was not Elon Musk. He just came in early with funds so that these brothers could produce the cars that they wanted or that they dreamed up. And I think, Tesla has its problems now since those brothers are gone, just like Twitter has its problems now that Elon Musk is at the helm. He is a horrible business person with a lot of money, just like Donald Trump. I don't see any genius in him. I'm afraid of him. And the idea that people are literally contemplating Elon Musk putting his musky hands somewhere near their brains is absolutely crazy to me. And beyond that, he again is talking about how soon or how close we are to being in this process, and yet it's not been approved by FDA, which tells us that you're years away because there's nothing happening in 6 months from start to ending with the FDA and the United States government in general.
Yeah, by the way, I'm gonna end this idea entirely in a minute. So you're gonna look forward to that. I'm gonna end it not by fiat, but by getting you guys to agree with me, even if you're right-wingers, even if you love Elon Musk. But first, I want to clarify a couple of things. So Mondale's right. Elon Musk's dad had emerald mines, and then he went to Silicon Valley where everybody was getting rich, right? And so he had the right amount of money at the right place at the right time, and then everybody declared him a genius. But if you started out with emerald mines and then you went with a bag of cash to Silicon Valley when he did, you probably would have gotten super rich too, right? So just understand that context.
I would have probably stayed in emerald mines and just like swum around in it like Scrooge McDuck, but a lot of people could have made money from it for sure.
Well, I mean, Glebe, he was swimming around like Scrooge McDuck. He was walking around the city of New York with emeralds in his pockets, like an idiot.
Yeah. And then you guys made a great point there, and so you were talking about how Mondale, you were talking about how he didn't create Tesla. In fact, he pushed out the creators of Tesla when he took it over. Ironically, kind of pulled an Edison on the creators of Tesla. What Edison did to Tesla, Elon Musk did to the actual founders of Tesla. I mean, it's such a deep, rich irony there.
So he didn't even that idea wasn't original. He just straight up copied the way he pushed them out, which is pretty amazing. And as far as SpaceX, like Cenk said, he's not delivering on his promises to bring us to Mars. He just has a false sense of security just because SpaceX happens to be doing a better job than government-funded space programs. But that's also a very low bar these days.
Yeah, and so last two things for me is, look, to Ben's point, if he says, "Oh yeah, I'll eventually do it too," I would say to him the same thing I would say to a guy trying to convince you to do a suicide bombing. You first.
Yeah.
Okay, you first, and then I'll see if I follow, okay? But the guy who's always trying to get you to do a suicide bombing, he never puts on the belt himself.
Yeah, that's the way you get people to do stuff publicly, right? When the vaccine rolled out, you had all the politicians rolling their sleeve up and getting vaccinated, except the coward Donald Trump doing it on TV. All the rest did it live on TV. So get that Neuralink right in your head, Elon. Yeah. Maybe it'll help you figure out how to take hate mongers and spreaders of bigotry off of the website that had already gotten rid of them, that you're bringing back.
Okay, so
and he should do it he should create a Twitter space and just do it right there. It'd be the first video in Twitter space. Let's do it.
Genius.
I watch.
Okay.
I would pay $8 a month for 1 year to see Elon Musk get an implant in his head live. 100%.
I like how I said genius and then pointed in the wrong direction. Okay, so all right. So how am I going to kill the idea, guys? If you do this. And it's true. Assume these guys are knuckleheads. They don't know Elon Musk is a genius. This thing's gonna work. So assume that, okay? What it does is it takes your thoughts and it records them on a computer. You want all your thoughts recorded on a computer, guys? All right, right-wing males, go ahead. Go ahead. I'd love to see what your thoughts are. I'd love to see them.